All right, so get this. Picture a city thriving,
Yeah.
full of dreams. And in just 3 days, 72 hours, it's practically gone. Poof. Vanished. That's San Francisco in 1906.
Wow.
And we are diving deep into this earthquake and the fire. But it's not just about the natural disaster. We're going to uncover the human stories, the rebuilding, and some hard truths, too. You ready to unearth some history with me?
Absolutely. I think what's so captivating about this event is that it kind of reveals the fragility of what seems like a booming city.
Yeah.
And how those societal structures that are in place really shape how different people experience and then recover from a disaster like this.
It's wild, right? You might know about the 1906 earthquake, but we're going for those details that'll, shift your perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know Levi Strauss, the guy behind the jeans,
Yeah.
was pushing for fire-resistant building codes, years before the quake hit?
Yeah, it's almost tragically ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
He saw the risk, but the city was growing so rapidly that the planning just couldn't keep pace.
Sure.
San Francisco in 1906 had about 400,000 residents. And the layout was, let's just say, less than organized.
Organically developed.
There you go.
All right, so let's set the stage. It's April 18th, 1906, 5:12 in the morning. Most folks are probably still asleep when, bam, a massive earthquake hits.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking magnitude somewhere between 7.7 and 8.3.
That is huge.
Huge. And it wasn't just a San Francisco thing either. The shaking was felt from Oregon down to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Even inland as far as Nevada.
Wow.
Now, the quake itself was quick, under a minute, but it unleashed this chain reaction of destruction.
It did. Gas lines ruptured all over the place, and that ignited fires across the city.
Oh, no.
And on top of that, the water mains were damaged, too.
So no way to fight the fires.
Exactly. Adding to the chaos, key figures in the city's emergency response, like Fire Chief Engineer Dennis T. Sullivan.
Oh, wow.
They were killed or injured in that initial quake.
So fires everywhere, limited water, no clear leadership. It was a recipe for disaster.
It really was. And this is where things take a turn for the, well, let's just call it interesting, even though it's really a tragic part of the story. Desperate to contain those fires, someone had this idea. Hey, let's use dynamite to create fire breaks.
Okay, the logic is there, blow up buildings in the fire's path, stop it from spreading.
Yeah, on paper, it makes sense.
Right.
But here's where it went very, very wrong. The type of explosives they were using, combined with a lack of experience, actually made those fires spread even more.
Oh, no.
So instead of containment, they just had all this flying debris, which ignited even more buildings.
A tough lesson in good intentions gone wrong.
Yeah, especially under pressure.
Yeah, those fires raged for 3 days, 3 long days. They devoured 58 city blocks and left 250,000 people homeless. 250,000 people homeless.
It's hard to even fathom that scale of devastation.
Yeah.
Entire neighborhoods wiped out, reduced to ash. But here's the thing that I find so interesting. In the middle of all this chaos, eyewitness accounts actually talk about the strong sense of community and resilience.
Wow, that's what makes it so captivating, right? This immense tragedy. And it also brought out the best in people, helping each other out, sharing what little they had left.
Right. It speaks volumes about our ability to be compassionate and cooperative, even when we're faced with such incredible loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the rebuilding was a long and difficult process.
Yeah.
And I can imagine not without its controversies.
Oh, for sure. We can't forget about the San Francisco graft trials.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole other deep dive waiting to happen.
A whole other story, right? Corruption,
Yeah.
shady deals, even a shooting in the courtroom.
Exactly. But for now,
Yeah.
let's focus on the scientific impact, because the 1906 earthquake was truly a turning point in how we understood earthquakes.
Yeah.
Before then, seismology in the U.S. was pretty underdeveloped.
Yeah, they had seismographs, but
Yeah.
you're right, it was early days for the science.
Right.
This earthquake, though, really pushed for serious research into the San Andreas Fault.
It did. And one of the most significant outcomes was the Lawson Report.
Okay.
This groundbreaking study led by geologist Andrew C. Lawson from UC Berkeley, and it became the foundation for modern seismology.
Wow, so this one event revolutionized our understanding of the ground we stand on.
Pretty incredible, right?
Totally. It shows how a disaster can actually lead to scientific progress.
It's true. Now, while San Francisco as a whole suffered, certain communities were hit much harder. And I think Chinatown is a prime example of that.
Yeah, and this is where the story takes a dark turn. Chinatown, this vibrant hub of culture and commerce, was completely destroyed. And instead of support, city officials saw it as a chance to, well...
Let's be blunt. They wanted to get rid of the Chinese community.
Wow.
They tried to push them to the outskirts to relocate them permanently.
It's a stark reminder that even in times of crisis, prejudice and discrimination can rear their ugly heads.
It is. But the inspiring part is that the Chinese community fought back.
They did.
They organized, they rallied support from churches, they even reached out to the Chinese government,
Why?
and probably most importantly, they highlighted how crucial they were to the city's economy.
Yeah, basically saying,
Huh.
we're a vital part of San Francisco. You can't just erase us.
Exactly.
And it worked.
It did. They rebuilt Chinatown even grander than before.
Wow.
It really showed their resilience and their determination to stay a vibrant part of the city.
It's a testament to the power of community, especially when facing adversity.
Absolutely.
Even today, we're still uncovering pieces of Chinatown's history, like those sewing machines they found during construction back in 2015.
Oh, yeah. Those sewing machines are such a fascinating clue to this whole thriving garment industry that existed there.
Wow.
And it really helps fill in the gaps of a story that was almost lost.
It's a good reminder that history is an ongoing process of discovery.
It really is.
So we've got destruction, rebuilding, scientific breakthroughs, and a fight for justice,
Yeah.
all stemming from this one event.
It's fascinating how much unfolded in the wake of that earthquake. And what's even more interesting is that over a century later, there are still lessons we can learn from the 1906 earthquake and its aftermath.
Absolutely. And that impact is still being felt today, and that's what we're going to explore further as we continue this deep dive.
I can't wait. We were just talking about how the 1906 earthquake impacted different communities, and the fight for justice in the Aftermath Chinatown story, I think, is especially relevant even today.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, how disasters still impact communities differently,
Right.
and those social inequalities that are already there.
Exactly. The 1906 earthquake, it wasn't just a physical event. It exposed those cracks in society itself. And as inspiring as it is to see the Chinese community fighting for their right to rebuild, it's heartbreaking that they even had to in the first place.
You're right. The fact that they were even targeted for removal speaks volumes about the mindset back then.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a stark reminder that progress, it's not always a straight line, and we need to constantly be vigilant against discrimination.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, thinking about the bigger picture, the 1906 earthquake had a huge impact on how the whole Bay Area developed.
For sure. Before the quake, San Francisco was the city,
Right.
but the destruction forced people to look beyond its borders.
It's exactly. Places like Oakland, Fremont, San Jose, they saw this huge population boom as people sought refuge and opportunity. And as the Bay Area rebuilt these cities, they kept growing.
Yeah.
They became major urban centers in their own right.
So in a way, the earthquake unintentionally led to a more spread out and interconnected Bay Area.
I think so. It reshaped the urban landscape,
Yeah.
creating new hubs of activity and encouraging regional cooperation.
Wow.
It shows how disruption, as devastating as it can be initially, can lead to unexpected growth and transformation.
It's fascinating to imagine how different the Bay Area might look today if the quake hadn't happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of transformation, the 1906 earthquake also left its mark on architecture and engineering. I mean, the destruction made it very, very clear that buildings needed to be more resistant to earthquakes.
Oh yeah, those flimsy, hastily constructed buildings, they had no chance against those tremors.
Not at all. The rebuilding really sparked all these innovations in materials and techniques,
Oh wow.
leading to much stronger and more resilient structures.
So what they learned from the 1906 earthquake,
Yeah,
it influenced building codes and practices
absolutely.
across the country, even globally.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's a powerful example of how tragedy can drive progress.
Right. We always talk about learning from our mistakes.
Yeah,
And in this case, the mistakes were literally built into the city.
that's true. And by studying those past failures,
Yeah,
we can create a safer and more sustainable future.
absolutely.
Hey,
So we've covered the human impact, the scientific leaps forward, and the urban transformation.
we have.
But there's one more piece of the 1906 earthquake that I find particularly intriguing.
Oh, what's that?
The stories that are still emerging,
Oh, yeah.
even now,
More than a century later.
over a century after the event.
You mean those hidden histories, those unexpected finds?
Exactly,
Yeah.
like those sewing machines we mentioned earlier.
Right.
Who knows what other treasures are buried beneath the streets of San Francisco,
I know.
just waiting to be discovered and to add new layers
Hmm.
to our understanding of this pivotal moment.
It reminds us that the past is never truly gone. It shapes our present,
Yeah.
and it influences our future.
And I think that's one of the most compelling reasons to delve into historical events like the 1906 earthquake.
Right.
It's not just about remembering what happened.
Right.
It's about connecting with the human stories, understanding the forces that shape our world, and finding inspiration for how we navigate the challenges of our own time.
Well said. And with that thought in mind, I think let's shift our focus to the enduring legacy of the San Francisco earthquake, exploring what it means for us today.
It's incredible to think back on everything we've talked about concerning the 1906 San Francisco earthquake.
Really is. From a bustling city to complete devastation, and then witnessing those stories of resilience, the advancements in science, the social inequalities that were brought to light.
And what strikes me is how this one single event, this seismic shift in time,
Yeah.
continues to have relevance for us, even in the 21st century.
It really does. It's easy to think about history as something that's in the past, but the 1906 earthquake is this great reminder that the past isn't really over.
Right.
Its impact is still felt in our cities, in our understanding of the world, even in our social structures.
Like, if you think about it, those lessons that we learned from 1906, they're still shaping how we prepare for earthquakes today.
Oh, for sure.
We've got stricter building codes, early warning systems, and just a greater awareness of those seismic risks.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that even when we're faced with forces that we can't control, like earthquakes, we can still take steps to lessen the damage and protect ourselves.
And thinking more broadly, the 1906 earthquake really highlights that importance of community,
Yeah,
not just when there's a crisis, but in the long process of recovery and rebuilding.
exactly. The way San Franciscans came together to support each other to rebuild their city and fight for justice, it speaks volumes about what we can do when we work together.
It's inspiring. It shows the strength of the human spirit,
It does.
our ability to overcome adversity, and how crucial it is to come together when facing challenges.
And the lessons from San Francisco in 1906, they extend way beyond the city itself.
They do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where we are in the world, whether we're facing natural disasters, systemic inequalities, any kind of crisis. The 1906 earthquake has things to teach us about being prepared, about resilience, and the power of a united community.
It's a story with lessons for everyone.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I keep coming back to the magnitude of the destruction,
Yeah.
but also the strength and determination of the people who rebuilt San Francisco. It's a powerful story.
It is, and it leaves us, I think, with a renewed sense of responsibility to learn from the past, to work towards a future where we are better prepared, more equitable, and more resilient no matter what challenges we face.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for joining us on this journey as we explore the 1906 San Francisco earthquake and fire. Keep exploring, keep asking those questions, and keep diving deep into the stories that shape our world.